Hello, my name is Kevin Millington, the trustee here at the Empire State Aerosciences Museum. Today is Saturday, January 14th, 2012, and I'm happy to be here to continue our audio and history program. I'm very happy to be here with Earl Morrow from Glenville, New York. Thank you for coming, Earl.
Thank you.
And Earl was an aviator and pilot during World War II. But thank you again for coming, Earl. And
I'm going to tell you about the one mission that really showed what the airplane could do and what the crew could do. Going in, I lost number one engine. That's this one here.
so there's four B-17 and four engines.
Yeah,
it
that's
was knocked
number
out
one,
by any aircraft
2,
fire or fighters.
3, and 4. So we lost number one going in. Apparently, fuel pump went out, and so now we're pulling. They had told us you don't pull full power on those engines for over 30 seconds, or they'll heat up. And so from then on in, just to stay in the formation, you're pulling full power on the other 3 engines. And
Because you want to maintain your position in that.
You got to maintain your position.
Sure, the formation.
If they turn and you're on the inside of the turn, it's no problem. But if you're on the outside, boy, you're going to start dragging a little bit. So we get over the target, and that particular day, I don't know why, but we would, or how we worked it out, but he was going, co-pilot was flying the bomber on that day. And just as we dropped the bombs, we got a direct hit on number 3. And I reached up and went through the feathering. To feather an airplane, you want to get your prop blades so they are not out there. In other words, you want them parallel to your flight. This one didn't feather.
What happened to the engine? Was that a mechanical failure, or were you hit by flak or a German fighter?
Hit by flak.
Okay.
And
so you're down to 2 engines now.
Yeah, but this one won't feather. So we're out of the formation. We're by ourselves, and we're over in Germany. We got to go all the way across Belgium, which is occupied, and that engine turned red hot, and then it turned white hot, and then it started breaking up and pieces coming into the airplane. We had to clean everybody out of that area, and we decided that we would, with it breaking up like that, we thought if we dove it and then hauled it straight up, maybe that prop would keep going. And we lost a couple thousand feet because it didn't go. So I told Bill, I said, we just can't lose any more altitude. Let's get this thing headed home.
Was Bill your co-pilot?
Yeah.
Do you recall his name?
Bill.
What was his last name?
Stemick.
Oh.
So we're going across, and we're getting down pretty low now. We're almost where they can just about throw rocks at us. And we decided that we can't fly over 10 or 15 seconds in a straight line. So I would turn, and then I'd turn, and then I'd turn. And we had a spot, they said, that if you come back alone, there's a spot in Belgium where it must have been a swamp, but there's no guns there. And that's where you would come out to cross the channel back to England. So with all this turning and everything, my navigator actually brought me directly dead center on that spot. And they said, now we're down real low now. They're just about throwing stones at us. But we were turning all the time, so they couldn't line up their heavy guns on us. And we're getting hits all the time. We get out over the channel, and I'm flying straight and level now, get this thing home, because we're low and we're concerned about getting over the cliffs of Dover. And everybody was briefed real quickly, if we had to put this thing in the water, how do you get out of it? And we had all that figured out. And as we came out over the channel, we lost number 4.
Oh my God, you're down to one engine?
One engine.
I didn't know the B-17 could fly on.
Well, it did, but you're coming downhill all the time.
Oh.
But we got it hit on it and feathered it. They had guns on flat boats or something off the channel, in the channel. And see, as soon as we got out over the channel, nobody knew about those guns out there. So we get that engine out. Now we got one engine and one windmilling and 2 feathered. And we get it over there, and we get over the top of the cliffs of Dover by a few feet. And there's another airplane in front of us, and I told him how my engineer threw up a red flare, and he threw one up, and he immediately cleaned the guy out in front of us so we could go on in and land, but we couldn't get it off the runway with one engine.
Well, it's remarkable that you were able to bring the B-17, being hit over Germany, and then return it to England and actually land. I mean, we were down to one engine on 3. It was a heck of a flight, Earl.
Well, I blame it on luck, really. The fact that I got to fly the airplane a whole lot before I went overseas. Mm-hmm. So I knew what it would do and what it wouldn't do. Mm-hmm. And anyway, we got it on the ground, but we couldn't get off the runway. They had to hook on and tow us off. Mm. And the boys got out, and they were down on their knees kissing the ground.
I would too, yeah.
And they counted holes, and they counted up to 100 holes in the airplane. And some of them this big.
So it really lived up to its reputation of being able to withstand an awful lot of battles.
And the real thing that I don't understand, there wasn't a one of us scratched.
How fortunate.
It's just amazing.
Yeah. How many missions did you fly, Earl?
I went down on the 17th.
Okay.
This was probably my 15th mission.
Okay. What happened on number 17?
Number 17, it was a screwed up deal all the way, and we're going way into East Germany and hitting a synthetic oil plant. And we'd been there before, and we knew it was a rough one. And you get over there, and that day they put up 900 airplanes. We put up an extra bunch of airplanes from our base. Every base would put up what extra they could, make up different. But that was a synthetic oil plant, and they were going to finish it off. But after we dropped the bombs, we're sitting out there, and here's 900 airplanes going there, and for some reason or other, our group of 36 airplanes, we're going here. And I told my radio operator, I said, call the lead airplane and find out what's going on. So he called them, and we got a terse answer back, maintain radio silence, we are leading the formation. And so I told the boys, well, keep your eyes open. And we saw our fighters left. They saw a bunch of Germans off in the distance.
So you were flying with escort fighters?
Yeah.
P-51s or P-40s?
P-51s.
Okay.
That's the only one that could get in that far with us.
Yeah, okay.
So our fighters leave us and go off there. And I told the boys, we're going to get hit. And sure enough, we did.
Why was the lead the lead plane on the group. Why were you going in a different direction?
To this day, I don't know. It was some kind of a big mix-up. I don't know what it was. But anyway, about that time, the fighters hit us. And they would come in behind you, drop their gear in flaps, pump 20 millimeters into you. And they told me that my rudder and stabilizer, they were gone. They just wiped them off. And he wasn't even hurt. Tail gunner.
The tail gunner?
Yeah, he wasn't hurt. And then I can hear these shells exploding in the back and feel them, but I never saw a fighter airplane because, see, they'd come in, and as soon as they run out, they just peel out and go.
And all your defensive fire, all the defensive guns on the planes,
they're
probably
working.
Yeah, they're probably all firing.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, my top turret gunner, he said he got 19 airplanes. But
that's an incredible.
Well, they were there. He probably did. And the tail gunner, he was back. Now this thing sheared off, but it didn't touch him.
Really?
But he's back there by himself.
So you were attacked by German fighters,
yeah.
Messerschmitt 109s or Focke-Wulf 190s, one of them.
Both of them.
Okay, and you suffered catastrophic damage on your plane.
Yeah, I saw about 8 or 10 feet go off this wing over here, and I'm still flying it in formation. That's how good the airplane was. And then
how good of a pilot you were.
And then we got 220s exploded right inside here beside my co-pilot. And there's fuel lines and oxygen lines, so now we're on fire, top of everything else. And I'm sitting there, before they set us on fire, I'm sitting there, when I lost that on the wing over there, thinking to myself, now I wonder if we get out of this mess, can I land this thing? And that answered the question real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So top turret gunner, he comes down, grabs the fire extinguisher, we think we have it out, and then it flares up again. And so I got no choice but to give the bailout signal.
Mm-hmm.
We're at 28,000 feet, that's a little over 5 miles up. And I don't know how bad my co-pilot is hurt, but I just yanked him out of his seat, and we had to go down under the panel and out and go out on this side of the airplane. There's a little door right there.
Oh, sure, yeah, I remember that.
And so I yanked him out. Then I started down behind him, and I felt the airplane climbing, and I thought if this thing stalls out, nobody will get out of it. So I crawled back up. I didn't get in the seat, but I just pushed the controls forward and got the nose down. Then I go down, and everybody's gone except Bill, my co-pilot. He's sitting there with his feet hanging out. So I just put my feet in the middle of his back and kicked him out. And then I sat down and rolled out, and she blew. 10 seconds later, I wouldn't be here.